Good day, guys. How are you all doing? I hope you all are doing great. On today's topic, we are basically going to be talking about education and types of education. Let's get into it. What is education? Let me start with that. Education, according to my research, to what I found out about education, education is the transmission of knowledge and skills and the development of character traits. Like education helps us to gain a specialized knowledge and skills. It helps us to gain a new knowledge on things that we don't know before and skills. What are the five types of education? Firstly, we have spiritual education. Spiritual education, it refers to the process of nurturing a person's inner life, values, and sense of purpose, often involving reflection of existential questions like the meaning of life, personal identity, one's connection to something greater, which is God. So, this refers to our relationship with God. Our this refers to like how we build our faith. It helps us to build our faith in God. It helps us to build a stronger relationship with God. It helps us to abide to the religious instructions. So yeah, and it helps us to it even helps us more in our personal growth. Which takes me to the number two. We have personal education. This helps us to understand ourselves better, to know our strengths and weaknesses. Yes. So let me explain better. Personal education is the process of developing knowledge, skills, attitude, and values tailored to an individual's unique goals, interests, and needs. It goes beyond traditional academic subjects to focus on the whole person. This is more than normal education that they teach you in school. We are still going to go into that. But this goes beyond that. This personal education, it helps us to know ourselves better. It helps us to know our weaknesses and our strengths. It helps us to know where we are good at and where we are not good at. It helps us to develop ourselves better. It helps us to grow ourselves. It helps us on how we respond to things that happen to ourselves. So, number three, academics education. This helps us to be able to read, and this is the one that I teach us in school. It helps us to be able to read and write, and in terms of arithmetic. So we all need all this education. We should know that there are different aspects of education. We have the spiritual aspect, we have the personal aspect, we have the academic aspect, and we also have the professional education. This helps us to understand the way the marketplace goes. Like it helps us to understand how the marketplace works. Let me go further on that. It refers to the structured learning program specifically designed to prepare individuals for career in a specific professions. Then lastly, we are going to talk about this is the financial education. We also need that in as much as we need spiritual education, personal education, academics education, professional education, we also need financial education. Because if you don't get financial education, there's no how. There's no how you can be rich in life. So we need it. And what is financial education? Financial education is the process of learning how to manage a personal and business finances effectively. It helps us in learning how to manage our personal finances and our business finances and not letting the two coerce to each other. It helps us to manage it, to understand how it works. So, under the financial education, we have financial intelligence, we have financial planning, and we have financial discipline. So, what is financial intelligence? Financial intelligence is the ability to understand and make smart decisions about money. It's the ability to understand and make smart decisions about money. This helps you to know how you can use your money in a positive way and not lavishing it or spending it and not knowing what you spend your money on. So it helps us to know how to understand and spend our money, understand the usage of our money, and not just not there are some situations where we find ourselves that we have already like we had this amount of money and in the next 2 days we don't know how the money vanished. We cannot like do we cannot show workings of how the money vanished. So this financial intelligence helps us to understand and how to make smart moves on how money works. So the second one is financial planning. Financial planning is the process of setting financial goals and creating a strategy to achieve them through effective management of income. Financial planning is it helps us to make plan on how to use our money. It helps us to make plan on how to invest, on how to budget, like how to budget our money. So the third one, we have financial discipline. This is just sweet. Financial discipline is the practice of consistently managing your money in a controlled and responsible way to achieve financial goals. We really need these three things. We need, and most especially, we need financial discipline. It's not everything that you can afford that you should buy. Just because you can afford it, that doesn't mean you should just buy it. We need to learn how to discipline ourselves when using money. It's not every time you have to spend money. We need to understand that the primary purpose of money is to make more money and not for consumption, not just to consume it. So we made this amount of money in our workplace. Okay, before I spend it, how can I use this money to make more money? Because I cannot just go and be going to work and come back and make this money and go and spend it. Just like money in, money out. And that's where we find ourselves in the rat race. So we need to understand the primary purpose of money, which is making more money and not just for consumption. We need to make our money give birth for us to make more money. That's what I mean by that. Before we spend it, and we're going to spend the baby money. Like you made 100 million, you made 100,000 or 100 million at a workplace. Before spending this 100 million, what can I use this 100 million or 100,000 to do to make more money so I can spend that more money that the money makes? So we need this financial discipline. It's not every time that because we can afford it that we should buy it. No. Before we consume anything, we should first think of how can I use this thing to produce more before consuming it all. So you have leftover. So we need financial discipline. We really need it seriously. Okay, that's all I have about education. And lastly, we need to understand the difference between being educated, being miseducated, and being uneducated. We need to understand those three three aspects. Like I said, being educated is the art of being learning a specialized knowledge and skills. Being uneducated is the opposite of you not learning at all, not learning anything. Why being miseducated? It means when you are learning the wrong thing. You can be learning and the thing you are learning is wrong. So we need to understand the theory. Like we need to and miseducation. Let me just put an example of miseducation. Like you thinking once you are done with school, you are done with education. That is woefully nonsense. That's rubbish. We need to understand that there are five aspects of education. In as much as we need our academics education, we need our spiritual education, we need our personal education, we need our professional education, and we need financial education in order to live an outstanding life. So we need to understand that the end of school is not the end of education, it's not the end of learning. Because as we grow in life, we should always have this mindset of learning and learning and learning and learning and learning. Because that's the only way we can develop ourselves. So the end of school is not the end of education. In fact, that's the beginning of education because that's when you start learning your personal growth, your spiritual growth, your professional growth, and your financial growth. Because in as much for you to live a great life, in as much as you need the personal growth, you need the spiritual growth, you need professional growth, you need the academic growth, you also need financial growth. That's where you can also get more freedom. That's where you can get better freedom. Because even God doesn't want God doesn't want his people to be poor. God doesn't want his people to be poor. God don't like poverty. God likes abundance. God loves abundance. God is abundant. So we need to have this in our mindset that money is not evil. It is the love of money that is evil. Because when we start loving money, definitely we'll be ready to do anything, either good or bad, either legal or illegal, and that goes against the Lord word. So we need to understand that money is not evil. Money is just a reward of the value you've created to someone other than yourself. If you if you start building this mindset that if you start building this mindset that uh, um, if you start building this mindset of being obsessed to other people's problem and creating a solution to it, we will see how our life will change better. So we need to understand the difference between love of money and money itself. Money is not meant to be pursued. Money is not meant to be pursued. Money is meant to be attracted. Money is just like the certificate of the work you've done. Like the same way you went to school. Once you are done with school, they will give you certificates. So money is just like the certificate of the value you've created for someone other than you. Like you help somebody to, let me just say, you help somebody to, somebody need phone. So you help the person to get a phone and come. You help the person to get that phone and give the person the phone. You've given the person the value the person needed. And the person also, in order to reward you for the value you've given to that person, the person will also now give you the money. So money is not meant to be pursued. Money is meant to be attracted. So that's how it is. I just hope this bless you. Take care. I love you. Bye.